Hey guys, so my topic was about reducing delusional speech in chronic paranoid schizophrenics. So, delusional speech is anything a person says that they believe that they're God, that they think people are out to get them, or that somebody's trying to hurt them when they're really not. So, delusional speech for people who have already been hospitalized for schizophrenia is one of the main reasons they get reinstituted back into these hospitals. So it's kind of amazing to see that only 2 studies have been performed using behavior modification with these delusional speeches. This one being the third. So a baseline study was first conducted. There were 4 schizophrenic patients who have been hospitalized for at least 17 years. 2 males and 2 females. It conducted of 4 10-minute sessions with nurses each day, and the time from when the conversation started to the onset of the delusional speech was recorded. Also, evening talks of 30 minutes were conducted each day, and they were allowed to talk about anything that they pleased. Also, within the ward itself, they recorded how many times they heard delusional talk being spoken and made tallies of that. So after the baseline, they moved to phase A, where the 4 10-minute speeches were terminated after the onset of delusional talk. From that, their evening sessions were directly proportional to how much rational talk that they had with the 4-minute talks. So after that, they went into phase B, where the evening talks were only 2 nights of the week. So they still had the amount of time of rational talk that they did with the 4 10-minute sessions, but only made the evening talks where they could talk freely 2 times a week. And if they did conduct more than 80 minutes of rational talk within the week, they were only allowed to talk for the 80 minutes freely in the evening sessions. Phase C then goes on with only 2 people who moved on, 1 male and 1 female, where the shorter talks, which then moved from 4 times a day to 10 minutes, moved to 8 times a day with only 5 minutes, because the nurses started to feel that the conversations were lacking, they were getting boring, and they weren't expressing themselves as much. So it's the same amount of time, just more. But within those shorter time periods, the nurses tried to talk more about sensitive topics that would get them to talk more delusional talk than rational, to see if it evoked any response. So the results for phase A showed that rational speech actually increased between 200 and 600% depending on the patient, and that's shown to be statistically significant with Phase B, only 3 out of the 4 maintained rational talk, where 1 person did decrease by 1/3 of it. And then phase C, only 2 people moved on, 1 male and 1 female, where there was more delusional talk because there were more sensitive topics, but they still maintained a very significant amount of rational talk. So, you can see it in this graph here, where the baseline is mostly steady, and then a definite increase in rational talk as phase A continued. And this one shows the baseline with phase A, B, and C for those who moved on. And it also shows the decrease by 1/3 for the 1 person who did not maintain rational talk. But for the others, it shows a very steady rational talk. So, this study was pretty important, I think. I thought it was pretty interesting too. One thing that the article does discuss is that the study may only be temporary and not a permanent fix to the delusional talk. But it also emphasizes a lot how when the patients had the evening talks for a long period of time, they had a lot of rational thought, which was very interesting because they were allowed to talk about anything that they wanted, and they still chose to talk rationally. So that shows a great increase in their rational thought. And yeah, so thank you.